Hari Om. Let us chant the Shanti Pataha. Gently close your eyes, your back erect, fingers interlaced and placed in front, your mind relaxed, your breathing normal. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Let us chant the Dhyana Shlokas. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaita Amritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambha tvamanusandadhami Bhagavat Gite Bhava Dveshinim. Namostu te Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totravetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Sarvopanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhed Bhokta Dugdham Gita Amritam Mahat. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayatra Jala Gandharani Lotpala Shalya Grahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakulam Ashwathama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vartini Sotirna Khalu Pandhavai Rananadi Kaivartaka Keshava Parasharya Vacha Saroja Mamalam Gītārtha Gandhotkatham Nānāpyanaka Kesaram Harikatham Sambodhana Bodhitam Lokeshajjana Shakpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Mudam Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsina Shreyase Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam langayate girim Yatkripatamaham vande Paramanandamadhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangapadakramum Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaham Dhyanavastita Taggatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na Viduh Sura Suragana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. A quick recap of the topic summary, because in the previous session I was able to cover up to 17th or 18th topic. So since we are starting afresh this session, I would like to review the topics. I may not get into the details, I'll just quickly run through the topics. The first one will be role of faith. Second one, not to criticize others or find faults. Third, I know attitude. Fourth, concept of devotion. Fifth, have a purpose in life. Number 6, do not justify your actions. Number 7, what toys that bring joys. Number 8, desiring versus deserving. Number 9, ego and complexes. Number 10, objectivity. Number 11, body, mind and intellect optimized. Number 12, 3 qualities to be integrated in life. 13, 3 mental temperaments. 14, mind the monkey. 15, qualities of a leader. 16, how to manage time. Number 17, how to handle emotions. Number 18, how to face the challenges in life. So till this topic we discussed in the previous session. How to face the challenges in life. From the time we get up from bed in the morning till the time we go to bed, whatever time we get up and whatever time we go to bed, life poses with challenges and challenges. At times we are able to overcome the challenge. Many times the world overpowers us. When I say the world here, if you assume you the individual, the subject, the world the object, so you being the individual meet the world. The world consists of objects and beings. We don't have any problem with the objects in the sense they don't directly pose us any trouble. But if we become dependent on the object, that's what yesterday we discussed, the object should be at our beck and call. Nowadays, the objects outside, things outside, they are you know, calling the shots. Meaning, if the object is there, a human being is happy. What we can understand is, our happiness is dependent upon those external objects. So as we discussed, the dog finds a bone, the dog is happy. The dog finds a mate, the dog is happy. Same way here, human being desire for objects, long for it. If the object is available, they are happy. If it is not there, they are unhappy. So through the object we are deriving happiness. So the other aspect of the world is beings. Through that human being, if we are able to derive happiness, we are happy. Otherwise we are unhappy. So in this context here, that object and being which constitute the world many a times overpower us. They call the shots. We succumb to their emotions. We succumb to their way of thinking. If we are able to develop life skill which is able to meet the challenges of life, what is that skill? What is that equipment, faculty in a human being which is able to handle the emotions? In other words, the objects, the beings here, which is able to determine, estimate, assess that objects are not going to enhance any happiness for me. Objects are not going to enhance happiness for me. Then we are able to give the right value for all that this world offers. So what is that equipment which is other than intelligence? The word used is intellect. Plants and animals don't have this equipment. They don't have to think. They are designed that way. Providence has designed plants and animals to lead a beaten life. Animals have rudimentary thinking. They are able to differentiate between what is food and what is dirt. Animals are able to be, trained. A pet is able to differentiate between master and stranger. That's about it. Human beings have a choice to be a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian, to be selfish or unselfish, to get married or stay single, to produce children or not, what profession to choose, etc. All this are challenges. The 19th topic will be characteristics of self-development. What are the yardstick for determining, finding out whether a human being is self-developed or not, spiritually developed or not? On what basis you say that a person is, spiritually developed? The Bhagavad Gita talks about in the Siddha Prajna portion, the man of enlightenment, man of perfection, a perfect human being. Who is a perfect human being? Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmanye vatmana tushtaha sthita prajnyasya dochyate. A person who has cast off all desires from the mind, not in half, not in quarter, completely. And satisfied, contented. So, self-development, the first and foremost yardstick will be whether a person is self-sufficient or not. Today, you find present happiness is dependent upon external factors. If things go favorable to us, we are happy. If it is unfavorable, we are unhappy. So there are few qualities, characteristics. We will discuss that towards the end of it. The 20th topic I would like to discuss is key to success. Is there any formula for a successful person? So with this, we will enter into the first topic, role of faith. How does faith play a role in, one's development? Be it material world, be it spiritual world. The formula, the principle is the same. It is not that you have one set of discipline for the materialistic world and another set of discipline for the spiritual world. The formula is the same. Wherever you apply, you'll be successful there. Role of faith. I am sitting in the chair here. What is the guarantee that this chair will not collapse? This roof will not fall down. You go to a restaurant, you order for food. What is the guarantee that the food is not contaminated? The plates are washed, cleaned. You are suffering from some ailment. You want to get operated. You want to undergo a surgery. You go lie down on the operation table. What is the guarantee that the doctor is going to perform the right operation? You board an aircraft. You have been flying almost every month or once in a year. What is the guarantee that that particular flight, aircraft, that particular pilot is going to take you to the right destination? You go on. Everything in this world is based on faith. You take away this element called faith, there is no life. You go and join your child, you put a child in a school. What is the guarantee that the teacher is going to teach the right material? You join a spiritual school. What is the guarantee that that master, that guru is going to teach you the material with which you are going to develop spiritually? Everything is based on faith. The question to be asked here is it going to be blind faith or you question? If you don't question the facts, not based on your opinion, then we get into superstition. You question not for the sake of asking questions, not to test the master, but question the facts. For the first time you meet a person, something in you tells you that he is the right person for your development. We say the bondage, the chemistry between two individuals, the right frequency, the right resonance. How is it? So the first yardstick for this particular topic, faith, is that other person who is guiding the new person here, as it were a student here, that person is all the time, thinking about a cause which is beyond selfish interest. So I'm going to discuss first the spiritual side of it, and then come to materialistic, world. Formula is the same. Principle is the same. In the spiritual world, a seeker goes to a master and now wants to choose that master as one's guru. On what basis? How do you select your guru? First, the student should be an adhikari. Who is an adhikari? Seeker of knowledge. Atma Bodha talks about few qualities that seeker should have: viveka, vairagya, shat sampati and mumukshatva. Viveka, basic discrimination. What is right, what is wrong? What knowledge is good for me? Basic discrimination. Discrimination here doesn't mean tall, short, fat, thin, rich, poor. Not that. That questioning attitude in that student, in that seeker, not to test the question the master, that questioning tendency. What is this questioning tendency here? A person doesn't take anything for granted, does not accept on hearsay. Question, receive the answer, analyze it, accept if it to one's reason, otherwise shelve it. So faith in this context is to select a guru here, that yes, I am a thinking type of person. My guru also should be that same thinking type, analytical type, mathematical minded. Behind this analytical, mathematical mind, that questioning tendency, that devotion, inbuilt devotion has to be there, that surrender has to be there. So that analytical mind is with reference to the intellect, and that surrender, that devotion, that bhavana is with reference to the mind. So the mind and intellect is more or less balanced, and physically serve the master. On the other hand, if a person is little that emotional type, devotional type, choose a master to match that frequency. Otherwise, it will be, a mismatch. Master is analytical, addressing to the intellectual aspect of life, and the student is highly emotional, devotional. It is like a square peg in a round hole. It doesn't fit in. That's why many times you say, we come across people where they will be practicing spirituality, attending lectures or bhajans or whatever it is for many years, and they feel that there is no spiritual development, as though they are in the same place where they started. It's because of this. Viveka, Vairagya. Vairagya in this context is that dispassion, disinterest towards, not disinterest is not here, that indifference. A person has desires, but since the person wants to develop oneself, self-development in this case, turns away that interest from the desires and genuinely want to, raise to the higher level. In that sense, that little dispassion, Vairagya. No, not now. It has to wait. Shat Sampati, sixfold qualities: tranquility, self-control, withdrawal, calmness, faith, etc. Fourth one, mumukshatvam, burning desire to liberate oneself. You push a person under the surface of water. What does a person need? You give the person who is now under the surface of water a lot of wealth, gold coins, rubies, pearls, etc. He says, keep it. I don't want this. You shower him with emotions. Thank you. I don't need this. You give him the best of worldly knowledge, spiritual knowledge. He says, give me oxygen. I need oxygen. I don't want any of this. Same way, that student is not interested in anything worldly. The student makes use of the spiritual knowledge and uses that knowledge not as an end in itself, but as a means to an end, and liberate oneself from the thraldom of this world. No attachment, no bondage. So this is from the student point of view, from the teacher point of view, the guru point of view, that guru there doesn't need any students. The guru doesn't need the service of the disciples. Guru is all the time anchored in the higher aspect of life. Unselfish. Always thinking about loka sangraha. And when that person who is all the time anchored in the higher and functioning for loka sangraha, then that chemistry between this disciple and the teacher takes place. The bondage. And this is the role of faith here. Once that individual has decided, yes, this is the master, then there is no doubt. There is utter surrender. Again, I would caution that surrender is not physical surrender. that questioning attitude has to be there. Otherwise, we will slip into superstition, blind faith. Question the facts of life, what the teacher is teaching here. Hope I am clear. There is a beautiful poem which talks about this concept of faith. The poem is called Casabianca by Felicia Hemans. So father and son are traveling in a boat or a ship, whatever it is. Father asked son to stand on the upper deck, and the instruction given is, I am going down, I have some work. Father is telling the son here, you stay here till I come. Son is standing up, father has gone down. It's been a long time, father has not returned. So son is asking from the upper deck, say, father, say, if yet my task be done. Say, father, say, if yet my task be done. No reply from father down below the lower deck. It so happens that the lower deck catches fire and father has perished. Son doesn't know that. Second time he is asking, say, father, say, if yet my task be done. Son has not questioned the father here. The instruction given is stand up there, I will come back. It so happens that the upper deck also catches fire and the son perishes. Now both are dead. This poem talks about, on one hand, that unadulterated faith on the son towards father. Whereas on the other hand, if you see that son perishes because of a particular instruction given by the father here. So in spirit we take this concept of faith. Don't stretch it beyond proportion. So that unintelligent nature of the boy should not be taken into consideration here. So that spirit behind this poem is faith on the part of the son. We have discussed that with reference to the student and the master. The same thing can be applied in the materialistic world. So when a student joins a school, the teacher, is giving some certain instructions. How faithfully the student follows the instruction. At home, parents give instructions to the children. How faithfully the child follows the instructions. At office, a chef is giving instruction to the junior. How faithfully the instruction is being followed. The same principle can be applied. How does the chemistry takes place? The bondage take place between two individuals, husband and wife, etc. Everything is based on faith. But that quality is that the person, who has faith on the other person, more or less, both have to be unselfish in nature. Unselfish in nature. Only then that chemistry works, that faith happens. So there's an excellent quotation by Rabindranath Tagore, who says, faith is the bird that feels the light and sings while the dawn is still dark. Early morning, the sun is not risen, the bird is chirping, the bird is sure that the sun is going to rise. That is the faith. An Englishman, Joel Goldsmith, says again on faith, it is a belief in a thing which I do not know until I come to know what I believe in. I repeat, it is a belief in a thing which I do not know until I come to know what I believe in. So if you combine Rabindranath Tagore's quotation, concept of faith, and Joel Goldsmith, you get the essence of what faith is. So right from that conceptualization and then the actual becoming, everything is based on faith. And once you become, it is no longer faith, it is a personal experience. You are traveling from place A to place B for the first time by road. Though you may have the Google map with you, etc., and you have taken instructions or the guidance from a person who has reached that place by the road, how do you believe that person? Again, that concept of role of faith works there. If you stay put in place A, then you can't reach place B, your ultimate destination. You start the journey, you have the road map, various landmarks on the way, and as and when you cross the milestones, then that faith gets transformed into personal experience here. There is something in you which tells you, yes, you are on the right track. Faith gets concretized. And ultimately, when you reach that final destination, you become it. You have experienced it. And you pass it on to others. This is the concept of faith. And when there is an element of doubt, then even a mustard seed of doubt is there, then we don't become that. We don't have that personal experience. So when we're talking about in the spiritual world, that self-realization, we do not know what that self-realization is, what that self is, total liberation is. Another person who has a personal experience of what that self is, realization is, we have belief, faith in the person, and then we tread the path. Various landmarks are given, scriptural instructions are given. As and when we keep experiencing them, then that faith gets metamorphosed, transformed into personal experience. Be it material world or spiritual world, role of faith is of utter importance, without which life doesn't exist. So with this first topic here called the role of faith is complete. In the next session, we will get into not to criticize others, not to find fault in others. As we proceed, we will give you the background of what we covered in the previous session and take up that particular day's topic, and then give you an overview of what that topic is going to be in the future sessions. So with the role of faith, you move on to, that quest of life. So when we start moving from place A to place B, in this context is self-realization. You move from what you know to what you do not know. Then what happens is that many a times we criticize we find faults, complain. It is like saying, I had, complained all the time. I had no shoes and complained until I met a man who had no feet. We don't have that, we don't have this, So the idea here is, with that concept of faith, when you start moving, you be content with what you have and aspire for more. Be happy with the present, in the present. So not to criticize others or find faults is the next topic. Hari Om. Thank you so much.